Characteristics of different conflict styles. A critical competency for today's working professionals is to understand what we each have our own way of dealing with conflict. According to the Thomas Kelman Conflict Mode instrument TKI used by human resource HR professionals around the world, there are 5 major styles of conflict management: collaborating, competing, avoiding, accommodating, and compromising. 5 major conflict management styles: collaborating style, competing style, avoiding style, accommodating style, compromising style. Collaborating style: a combination of being assertive and cooperative. Those who collaborate attempt to work with others to identify a solution that fully satisfies everyone's concerns. In this style, which is the opposite of the avoiding, both sides can get what they want and negative feelings are minimized. Competing style: those who compete are assertive and cooperative and willing to pursue one's own concerns at another person's expense. Dr. Benalel explains using this style works when you don't care about the relationship, but the outcome is important, such as when competing with another company for a new client. But she cautions don't use competing inside your organization, it doesn't build relationships. Knowing when and how to use each style can help control conflict and lead to an improved working environment, resulting in a better bottom line.
The 5 major conflict management style. So the collaborating style and competing style has been discussed by Lovely earlier. So let's continue. Avoiding style. To those who avoid conflict tend to be unassertive and uncooperative while diplomatically stepping an issue or simply withdrawing from a threatening situation. Use this when it is safer to postpone dealing with the situation or you don't have a concern about the outcome. Such as if you have a conflict with a coworker about their ethics for using FaceTime on the job. Accommodating style. The opposite of competing. There is an element of self-sacrifice when accommodating to satisfy the other person. While it may seem generous, it could take advantage of the weak and cause resentment. You can use accommodating when you really don't care a lot about the outcome, but do want to preserve or build the relationship. Dr. Binolil says, such as going out for lunch with the boss and agreeing, if you want to go for Thai food or for lunch, that's okay with me. Compromising style. This style aims to find an expedient, mutually acceptable solution that partially satisfies both parties in the conflict while maintaining some assertiveness and cooperativeness. This style is best to use when the outcome is not crucial and you are losing time. For example, when you want to just make a decision and move on to more important things and are willing to give a little to get the decision made.
Conflict is a part of any work environment. It can't be helped. When you have a group of people working under stress with different personalities, there's bound to be a few problems. That conflict exists is not the issue, but having an effective conflict resolution strategy to resolve that conflict if it begins to impact the business is crucial for any manager. While conflict can be a creative fuel that helps teams compete and work more productively, it can also easily blow up and bring everything to a dead stop. But how do you diffuse a situation that is lit by anger and other emotions that are not responsive to rational engagement? It's not easy, but there are ways. Here are 10 conflict resolution strategies that can help you manage volatile team members. Number 1. Define acceptable behavior. Before there is any hint of a conflict, you can reduce or even eliminate potential problems by setting a standard of behavior in the workplace. If you give the team the room to define what is and is not appropriate, they will. Number 2. Don't avoid conflict. Depending on the type of person and manager you are, there are several ways you might respond to conflict in even workspace. For one, you can ignore it. and let the participants work it out among themselves. This is not always the worst approach. Teams must know how to collaborate, and conflict resolution is one of the tools they'll need to do that. 3. Choose a neutral location. One of the first steps to diffuse any conflict is to change the environment. People are heated and the anger is often tied to a place. It sounds odd, but just removing the people from the room they're fighting in will help put the conflict in perspective. 4. Start with a compliment. After you've broken away from the place where the conflict arose, you can address the problem, but you don't want to jump right into a conversation with an accusatory tone. Your job is to hear all sides and make an executive decision based on the facts and the needs of the work being done. Therefore, to get a person comfortable enough to talk, start by complimenting them. You want to show that there is no bad guy or good guy here. You're attacking the problem, not the person. Number 5. Don't jump to conclusions. The reasons for any conflict are often more complex than they first appear. In order to be just in your treatment of all parties involved, it is advised not to conclude anything at the offset. Even if you think the conflict is obvious, give everyone an opportunity to share their perspective. Get a sense of the history involved. You don't want to assume anything about anyone. Gather your facts like a quiet detective and then weigh in with the wisdom of a judge.
So let's continue the number 6. Think opportunistically, not creatively. Where some conflicts are going to require consequences, most are just sparked by passionate people coming at a situation from different vantage points. The truth is that when conflict arises, so does the opportunity to teach or learn. Being a manager is seeing these conflicts as a means to address what has previously hidden problem within the team dynamics. Number 7. Offer guidance, not solution. Other thing to think about as you address conflict in your workforce is not jumping to just writing the rule. What does that means is there could be an obvious reason for the conflict and a similarly clear way to get people back on the same page are called working productively. You're leading the group are not taking sides in their arguments. It's best if you can get the team to work together to resolve the conflict. That means taking more time to guide them to the conclusion you see, but they too emotionally involved to notice. Number 8. Constructive criticism. In any conflict, there are multiple approaches, some more critical than others, but sometimes things are plainly wrong and criticism is the only valid way to deal with it. Be that as may, the people you're criticizing are the same people you'll be working with tomorrow and the next week and so forth. So how do you criticize without inviting so you can still effectively lead? Number 9. Don't intimidate. As a manager, you are in a position of authority. Don't abuse it. It might seem like the simple fix to force the correct course, but that is not thinking in the long term. The term never learns anything from this but to fear for you, which means they won't confide in you when something starts going wrong, leaving you in the dark until the issue is possibly beyond repair. So, take the time to work through your conflict resolution in a such way that it doesn't pop up again the next day. Number 10. Act decisively. Remember, you want to put the time into conflict resolution to do it right. But once you have gone through that process, then it's time to act, and you should do decisively. Don't let the decision wait and leave the team lingering. It sets a bad precedence in terms of your leadership. You're leaving a void at the top, which will get filled by ideas and other than your own, and you may lose the authority you need to lead. So, when you come to a decision, act on it. Some might not like it, but they least know where you stand.